Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Lauren and I am Life Alongside Lauren. So me and my family with 2 young children, we're currently travelling the world. We left our life in the UK and I put out a question, ask me anything, on Instagram, and I wanted to give you the answers to those questions. So I've got all the screenshots on my phone so that I can answer them so I didn't lose them because they go away after 24 hours. Let's find it. Number 1, how will you homeschool while travelling? So we have a 5.5-year-old. He was in year 1 when we left the UK, and he wasn't a massive school person to begin with. He loves the social side, and that's great, and that's something that I really need to work on, is getting him some friendships while we're here in Thailand. But homeschool wise, when we left, his teacher actually gave me loads of resources. So we've got some workbooks. They are the UK curriculum for maths, and we work through those. We also have a couple of apps that we use on the iPad, and they're like more of a game side, which works really well for him because he's not a like sit down and work kind of kid. He's only 5, he's still so young, but we're working on his reading, his writing, and because we are now world schooling rather than homeschooling, we are able to adapt things to his interests and like where we are, what we're doing, and that's been really fun. So that's what we're doing. We also here are doing like clubs and classes, which also help. How easy was it with the education board to choose to homeschool and travel? Absolute piece of so I don't know if this is just maybe I just had it really easy, but I basically told his teacher, told his head teacher, and that was it. So all you have to do is actually a really lovely lady on TikTok sent me a template that I just popped his names into, which basically says like, from this date I will be homeschooling my child, and I sent that to the head teacher. She said, great, I'll deregister him, have an amazing time, this is such a great experience for your children. So I think people especially in the UK, like life in the UK, everyone's like, your child must be in school, and you actually have the right to school your child however you want to school your child. It's just that we obviously follow the norm, and the norm is to send them to normal school. And that's fine for most people, and it works for most people, but it doesn't work for everybody. So it didn't work for us. We wanted to travel, and homeschooling is just the same thing. It doesn't mean that just because you're homeschooling or world schooling your child that they're getting any less of an education. You still follow a curriculum. So we did that, and then we basically got an email from Home Education where they said, we understand that you're now homeschooling, we've registered you homeschooling, but they actually said in Suffolk, because we're from Suffolk. So I just called them and said, we're not going to be in Suffolk, and he was like, that's fine, just give us a forwarding address, even if it's just like a hotel or an Airbnb that you're going to be at, and then we close your case, and that's the end of it. There was nothing, there's no panic over that, there's no drama. It was absolutely fine. Would I be safe doing Thailand alone? 1,000,000%. Like, Thailand is probably one of the safest places that I've ever been to. Everybody's so calm. The main religion here is actually Buddhism, so it's all quite peaceful. Like, I've not experienced any negativity, nothing. They're just so peaceful and happy, and everybody's so lovely. So I would 100% say yes. I've never travelled here alone. I have been here 4 times, and on the first times we didn't have children, and we like hosteled and things like that, and everybody's just here for a good time. Like, everyone's here for a good time, not a long time. So 100%, if you're thinking about coming alone, then I would recommend it. Let me see. What made you want to move? So, there was a couple of things. There was nothing like, this is the main thing, but there's a couple of things. A being, we were just like working to live. So my husband mainly was just like ploughing through work constantly, and we barely got to spend any like quality time with our children. we're like just mainly living for the weekends, and then on the weekends, like, there's just not that massive amount of stuff to do. Like, you can do a lot of stuff in the UK, I do get that, but here, like, we'll finish homeschooling and work, and then we can head to the beach, we can go to the pool. Like, the weather's nice permanently. Well, I said there's rain, but we haven't actually, touch wood, we haven't had rain yet, but I know you do get rainy season, but it's warm, there's no cold, you're not like bogged in. Like, when I was at home, I would be with my 2-year-old, for example, when Roman was at school, and it would just rain all day. Like, what do you do other than going to soft play, or I don't know, I don't even know what else, but like, it's just cold, it's rainy. That was one main thing. My husband also was getting, oh my God, what do you call it? You know, when your fingers go numb. So literally, as soon as he was out in the cold for like 2 minutes, his fingers would go like pale. I can't think what Raynaud's disease. So his hands were going white and he couldn't feel his fingers. So obviously we've been here and there's no cold, so he doesn't get that at all here. Everything's just so much more like, you just feel nicer, your skin feels better, you feel healthier, and just in general, just we wanted to spend quality time together. Like, we want to see our children grow up, and in the UK you get that opportunity, but not as much as we are here. There's one question that I keep getting asked, which is about money, but I'm going to save that to the end, if that's what you're here for. Everybody's so nosy on the money. I probably get about 15 messages a day being like, how are you affording to do this? What are you doing for money? What are you doing for work? I will get to it. Are you planning to stay in any country for some time or be on the go? So we are now going to be staying in Thailand for at least 7 months. We've just signed a contract on this condo. So we never wanted to fast travel. We wanted to just go places and stay for as long as we can. Like, don't get me wrong, if there's a place that we turn up and we don't like it, then we're gone. But for now, we'll be in Thailand, and then like, there's loads of places we want to go to. I really want to go to Australia. We really want to go back to New Zealand. Dubai is another place that we'd quite like to try live in. There's loads of places. So, and it will change. Like, we'll meet people, and then people will say, "Oh, you must go to Vietnam or Malaysia or whatever," and then we'll do that. Do you live in hotels? So when we've been here 2 weeks, so initially we were in hotels, like jumping through hotels, but now we're staying more permanently. We have rented a condo, so we'll be staying in a condo. Assuming you're homeschooling, how do you juggle this with younger ones? So we do most of our homeschooling while Lennon is napping. So we go out and do something in the morning, we come back, have lunch, Lennon goes for a nap for a couple of hours, and then we homeschool with Roman. We also dip in and out throughout the day on little bits, like if he wants to do some kind of craft, we'll turn it into like a writing. At the moment he's doing like letters to home, so he finds that really fun, so that's what we're doing. Working, finance. How are you affording? How do you use do the Etihad stopover when booking flights? So this is just my understanding, this is how I did it. This might be not the only way to do it, it might be another way. But I basically found the flights I wanted. You can do this with most airlines, I say any, most airlines, big ones that have a hub. So say for example, Emirates, they do it with Dubai, Etihad is Abu Dhabi, British Airways I believe is either like LA or the UK. Where else? Singapore Airlines, you can do Singapore. So I booked directly with the airline, went onto the airline's website, did my search in there. I knew what flights I wanted because I'd found them on Skyscanner. And then there was just a little tick box that you ticked that says stopover. So you get 48 hours in the country for free, and they'll put you up into a hotel. So we were putting the Premier Inn, or you can stay for like 3 or 4 nights, but they'll just give you a discount on the property, which I think is like 40%. So that's how you do it. They also have like free shuttle buses. We didn't use that because Uber was just so cheap. And that's about it. That's literally all you have to do. And then, so you book your flight, and then when you get to the end, You get your booking reference and your surname, and you just put it in, and you can select your hotel. When I initially did it, it actually said, sorry, there's no hotels available, and I was like, oh great, so that's helpful. I've now just booked these flights and I can't even stay. But I ended up checking like after a couple of weeks, and the hotel just came up. So definitely look back if it says none available. What vaccinations did you all have for living in Thailand? So we've had Hep, I want to say Hep, is Hep A or Hep B? I can't remember. Typhoid, and then just up to date on your normal injections. I think, I've got to be honest, I don't know. Our doctors, our GP was also a travel clinic, so we basically just told them where we were going, and they gave us the injections for what you needed. I'm pretty sure we had Hep and typhoid to come here. What type of visa do you need with a one-way ticket to Thailand? So I'm probably going to get asked, there's probably going to be another question on this. We have a ticket out of here, not home, but we do have a ticket out because we applied for a 60-day tourist visa, single entry. So that's 60 days, and you get asked for loads of documents. So you have to provide accommodation, so like a hotel that you're staying in, but you also need to show a flight out of the UK. You also need to show a flight out of Thailand. So we just booked the cheapest flight that we could find, which was Krabi to Kuala Lumpur, and that's on the day before our 90 days would end. So we've got a 60-day tourist visa. When it gets to the end of 60 days, we're going to go to the immigration office here in Koh Samui and apply for another 30 days, and that'll give us 90 days in total. When we get to the end of that, we have to physically leave. If we stay on this visa, we have to physically leave the country and then enter again, whether that's by sea, land or air. And then you'll get stamped for another 30 days. Once you come back in, you get 30 days, then you go to the immigration office again, apply for another 30 days. So every time you can stay 60 days at a time. And that's the easiest way to do it without having to, but you need a flight out. Also, when we checked in at Abu Dhabi to come to Bangkok, we were asked for proof of that flight. So I had to physically get it up on my phone and show him the proof that we were leaving the country. New follower here, hello. Have you sold everything to do this? Is the plan to be back in the UK after? So we sold, if you were following me before, you'll see that we live quite minimalist anyway, so we didn't have a massive stuff. But we decided 2 weeks before we left that we were going to rent our house out. So we basically sold, donated, gave away a lot of like things, furniture, stuff like that, and everything else that we wanted to keep. We actually have a storage in the UK. So everything's gone into storage. Our house was completely empty when we left, and then we are renting our house out. Financially and safety made sense. Like, somebody's there looking after our home. I know obviously you deal with wear and tear and you're a landlord, but for us it just made sense. And we didn't have to change our mortgage for that. You can, I don't know if it's every company again, but like for our mortgage we just had to send them a consent to let, and you get given 12 months consent to rent your property out, and then that just gives us a year to decide what we want to do. I'm pretty sure you can extend it as well. But just decide what we do. Plan whether we're going to come back to the UK, who knows. It's not a no, but it's not like up there on the places that we want to go. So obviously, like, there's travelling full time, then there's like picking a country that you want to, and then UK is like down here. What was the thing that made you go, let's just do it? I don't know. It was one of those things where, like, I'm 31 now, my husband's 37, 36, 37, one of those two. And, like, when is ever the good time? When gets to the time where you're like, okay, now is the moment where I'm going to do it? Like, it just doesn't happen. You'll always find other things to do. Like, you want to move house, you want to buy a new car. Like, I could just see our life for the next 10 years where we were at home in the UK. And I don't know, it's just boring, like, to be completely honest. Life was so predictable. And I say this one thing, I was listening to this podcast, and always kind of like stuck with me is, if you knew that you were going to die tomorrow, would you be happy? Would you be happy with everything that you've achieved so far? Or is there something that you go, oh, I really want to do that? Because a lot of people wait to travel to retirement, but like, what if you don't get to retirement? Life is so unpredictable, and I just think you just have to throw yourself in. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You could lose some money, maybe. But you'll always figure it out. Like, throw yourself in and swim. Don't sink, you'll swim. You will swim. Why did you choose Bangkok at first destination? It's, for us, quite a comfort place. We've been here quite a lot. We lived in Thailand before for 4 months. So yeah, it's just really comfortable. We really like it. We love Thailand. So it just made sense for us. Are you missing anything from home yet? Not yet. Ask me in a couple of months. We've only been away for 2 weeks, so I'm not missing anything at the moment. Right, now the question that you've all been waiting for. So this is, so many people are asking me like, are you remote working or are you living off savings? How do you finance this? Did you save hard before? What else? Can't comprehend how to fund it. How are you financing your travelling? How are you financing travelling? Did you need quite a lot of savings before? Okay, so basically, we still working. I don't want to say there's like this magic solution to it, but we are, if you want to do this lifestyle, like you need to put in place things to make this lifestyle. Like if you're living in the UK and you're working a 9 to 5 or like a normal minimum wage job, like you can still do this. You just need to make yourself, you need to take yourself out of that mindset of like, how can you afford to do that? Like you just afford to do it. So for example, me and my husband, we're both self-employed. We both have our own businesses. I work on social media, so it's all remote. My husband works a physical job, like he's an artist. So he has rented a studio here like he would have at home. He's still making art and selling it. And then he has an art fair in the UK. So he's still running a business. Like you just do it, like it works. Find a country, it doesn't necessarily have to be Thailand, but you find a country and you just go and work in that country. Like if you need to work to support yourself, then that's what you need to do. There wasn't any savings for us. Like we have savings, but we're not living on our savings. We are just working. So for us, when we lived in the UK, we had our mortgage, we had all our bills, and we had our lifestyle. And the amount of money that we were spending on that, for us to leave the UK, even if we didn't rent our house out, for us to pay our mortgage and council tax, because you still have to pay that. But we squished all the other bills, so we got rid of all of our other finances. For us to pay that and then live here and pay for accommodation here and life here, it was the same amount of money because it's so cheap here. We are fortunate that we're now renting out our house, so that has helped a lot. And then, to be honest, like a lot of people are like, oh, they're renting their house, that's giving them an income. I think if we get like £200 a month from that, then that's a good month. But you don't really make money. We're not making money from renting our house because we still have a mortgage there. Like we still have to pay our mortgage, so the rent just covers the mortgage and then allows us to be a little bit more flexible here. So you just make it work. You either need to be looking at countries that you can work in, or you need to go self-employed, find something that you can do, find something that you love, and make it work like that. But I hope that helps. Sorry I can't give you a magic potion to doing it. But if you have any other questions, then please drop them. You can always message me. My inbox is always open, especially on Instagram and TikTok. I'll try and get back. I do get a lot of messages, so I try to get back as much as I can. But yeah, hopefully that's answered some of your questions. And please don't forget to also subscribe, because I'm trying to grow this platform, and this is another way, especially, so for example, financing, YouTube, once I get to a certain amount, I can start monetizing my platform. So that will help me fund my travelling. So please do subscribe and watch and follow and share the love. Like we're all sharing the love. I'm here for a good time. I want to help you guys, so please do keep in touch.